Do you ever live your life then you get jump scared by this? Hi, I'm Kurb, and yes, you read that right, the Holo ARG created by beloved content creator Emico is back with a new installment of the series. And yes, they delivered hard. After literally 3 years since the last ARG related video, we have gotten a new one which I'm very excited to talk about, as I could explore the beginnings of the ARG. Ina in a kitchen has Ina in her newest outfit of a chef as a video game similar to Cooking Mama. Before we start with the video, the description contains interesting info. Ina in a Kitchen 1997 is a virtual station game that got cancelled due to MetroStorm's bankruptcy. This is said to be most of the footage and content that they were able to salvage from its dormant state. The provider of this footage wishes to remain anonymous. MetroStorm has been prominent in the series as this video game company, with Virtual Station as the go-to console where their games are published, but they apparently went bankrupt as early as 1997 or later, which is something we'll get back to. The video, as its only footage, starts with what may look like someone putting a tape into a tape player. Then, after getting blasted with logos all over the place, we get a warning in Japanese. With my 10 years of studying Japanese and one Google Translate later, I was able to decode what it was trying to say. Quote, "The copy of the game is not allowed for general distribution and is created for testing purposes only," end quote. As the game starts up and the player begins a new game, in the menu afterwards we can see a save file already into the game, which my insane Japanese skills weren't able to translate. So I checked for other detective discoveries and saw that the save file was named Ninomiya Inanis, where the last save is on the 25th of March 1997. The player then starts a new game file and fills their name as Ame, which made my theory's senses tingle. As the game loads, we see a cute takodachi with a chef's hat and what I can guess to be a typical loading screen where they give you tips. Most of these texts are in Japanese. Surely they won't be that lore heavy, right? The TORII gate is a safe place. Please go there with confidence. What? Okay, so first off, what is a TORII gate? According to my high-level research, Wikipedia says it's a traditional Japanese gate found at the entrance of a Shinto shrine where it marks the two worlds, the human realm and the sacred one where kami are welcomed and are thought to travel through. Oh hey, isn't that familiar? Oh, I see where this is going. But before we jump into conclusions, let's finish the video first and gather all the pieces. We finally meet Ina, the chef. She's going to teach us some recipes, but first we need to grab the cookbook from the cupboard. We see references to the Myth Girls, Life of Chickens for Kiara, Detective Story for Ame, Trident Training 101 for Gura, Meaning of Death for Callie, and the end. The text below changes to TORII once again, but everything goes back to normal after we grab the cookbook. After successfully creating our cookie dough, we get a cute screen reading even better than Ina, which I find extremely adorable. Next up, we roll the dough, and after crushing that shit, a new loading screen appears in which the text says, "Physical sacrifice is a good omen for a good future." That's cool. Ina praises us for our work and tells us to go buy some purple cream at the convenience store nearby. Another loading screen tip appears that says, "Your morbid curiosity will serve you well." I'm starting to think these tips aren't really for cooking. After walking through the foggy path, little Ina suddenly goes out of bounds and encounters what is actually meant to be a computer screen. But I honestly think that's a lamp, like, bro, you cannot tell me that's not a lamp. But after Ina gets closer and closer, the game just breaks. And it said that the computer needs a hard reset. But as the screen goes further into the dark, a familiar tune ends the video. So that's a huge amount of shit to cover, isn't it? Well, if you're part of the Emico, the Emico Discord if you didn't know, which if so, hi, huge fan, you know, you guys are insanely talented, so thank you once again for providing the information. You may have realized I haven't talked about all the secret codes, because of course Emico would hide a motherfucking ton of codes. So once again, thank you to the Emico for finding these. I'll credit everyone as much as I can. To start, as is tradition, there's a hidden video with link fragments all over this 8-minute bazooka floor. The first fragment is found in the name selection screen, where the Q and F are seen circled and the Q has an arrow pointing to the F, meaning the first fragment is QF. The next one is found on the bottom of the spine of the QR book, 3R9. And right after, the tackle below begins mouthing something. That something being in Morse code. Emico, why? Which translates to the letters PC. The next fragment is easy to miss, as it only appears for 2 frames. In the mixing minigame, the taco says mix all the J, on which the J corresponds to fragment number 4. The Japanese below the roll the dough flat loading screen translates to: the first letter is always small, which means for fragment 1 the Q in QF is small. In that same minigame, the video glitches out and we can barely see a 7 on the top left. And as you're rolling the dough, the taco prompt that says roll the dough changes to the letter O. And finally, at the end of the video, with the blue screen, we read exception OU, address error. OU being the last fragment that gives us this final link that takes us to this video. Covercam 3/1997-04-26. This video was taken on the 26th of April 1997, a month and a day after the save file in Ina in a kitchen. We see what may be the POV of a police lady entering Ina's abandoned, probably broken into, room. She scours through every corner, blood apparently on the floor but with no bodies to be seen, a smell reminiscing of a rotting corpse, and stuff written on walls. As she advises the police corp to call Watson, she's attacked by a mysterious tentacle entity that drags her somewhere. Then, the video ends. Once again, this video contains ciphers, 3 to be specific. When the cop is attacked, we see these shift ciphers all decoded with shift 21. I know you will find this. You always do. To find the abyss, you must find the place of promise. You must hear it, do you? It keeps on losing to sustain its energy, the embodiment of life and death itself. If this is really you, I'm sorry I couldn't stop it. It will all be over soon. Seek the guidance of the ones before us. You will find the answer. Well, that was a lot. But we're not done! Ina in a Kitchen also contains various ciphers. I'll speedrun them because this is getting longer than I expected. After the finished screen when rolling the dough, there are 2 frames with shift ciphers, this time decoded with shift 7. Both of our existence is nothing short of pointlessness. Find the tape, Ame. Also, in that great loading tip about physical sacrifice, we get another message on the top left saying,
do not go to the TORII.
And in the next loading tip, there's a shift cipher on the top left decoded with shift 7. A grave has something to say, and it's not just a curse. And finally we get the big bombardment of ciphers at the end. First we have a frame of Ina saying, gone missing. Great. Another frame with a base 64 cipher.
The book will guide us. This entity will guide us. Someone must be the sacrifice, and we will find it.
And the 2 ASCII table ciphers.
Error resulted in unauthorized break-in code. Player is supposed to go in TORII gate. This screen will reset, and then we'll reset the game losing all progress. Please let know about this bug. It will hinder our progress. Make sure that Ina plays the game before anyone else could. It's what the entity would have wanted.
Okay, I think that's all of them. Holy shit. As you have seen, this video is jam-packed with stuff to cover. So let's start easy. Let's talk about Metro Stomping for a second. They are thought to be in bankruptcy in the year 1997, but it's weird how the Illustrator, a game they created the year after they went bankrupt, exists. But discrepancies aside, I personally think this video is pretty straightforward, with some minor crazy stuff I'll talk about. This whole video, the game as a whole, I believe it was supposed to be a message from the Ancient Ones for Ina, telling her to cross the TORII gate. Why? Obviously, we know by now that the Ancient Ones need Ina's body, and the only way to get to her is baiting her to cross the TORII gate, this gate that separates both realms of existence, to kill her and take over her body as the real Ina fades into non-existence. But not immediately, slowly, painfully, as she sees her friends drown in the same despair that awaited her. And, as we can see, they succeeded in making Ina play the game before anyone else. I believe this video is the footage of when Ame went to investigate Ina's room after getting a call as heard in Covercam. So these shift ciphers may be messages from Ina to Ame. Although some stuff is weird, like the mentions of graves and curses. But one thing is certain, they need a sacrifice. And honestly speaking, I do not know who is talking. Like, it could be Ina, but I just don't understand why would she all of a sudden say the book, the entity that literally killed her, will guide them. It's a weird aspect, unless you think of the speaker as another person, of which I do not know anything, so that remains a mystery. Another thing is, we know who the speaker in Covercam is. It's Ame1 from Limbo/Hell/whatever the fuck she is. She's apologizing for not being able to stop the Ancient Ones, probably referring to Ina. But in the same message, she also psychs up someone, probably Gura, into finding the abyss, the place of promise. She also says that the entity is losing to keep its energy, life and death themselves, running. To sum up, Ina in a Kitchen and Covercam tells us about Ina's disappearance, one that was supposed to be shrouded in mystery as her last appearance was in her house that apparently was broken into. She fell into Ao's hands, she played the game and now she's suffering the consequences of crossing that TORII gate we see in Ina All That Follows Is True. The question or questions now are: who is this speaker talking almost cult-like about this entity? What is the place of promise? Is Ao purposefully losing and resetting the timeline to keep its energy running? What's the deal with Metro Stomp? Overall, these little things like unknown speakers and intentional discrepancies are telling me that this ARG is far from done, and we just have witnessed most of the beginnings of Ao's plan. And we have confirmation, I guess, that these events do take place in the 80s/90s. So I guess all we have to do is wait for the next video, which probably won't come out soon. I mean, it's the first upload since March 2nd, 2021, so it will